Hey everybody, Adam Rank here, fantasy football phenom. I am telling you right now, I am imploring, beseeching you to watch the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league? No, you don't. You want to win. And if you want to get that advantage, you got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Hey fans, this is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers, and you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
I have to unmute us. It's all good. What up? What up? What up, world? We're back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network, and I'm here with your boy Classic Mike. What up, Classic Mike? How you doing?
Good, man. What's going on? Excited for another Friday night mock. I'm just excited for the whole show today. We have all these different things going on. Scotty Fish, everything, and even a special guest. I'm excited. Can't wait. I'm leaving that to you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like you said, man. Okay, yeah. Oh, I know. I gotta do the intro. It's my favorite intro to do. But just so you guys know, man, it's mock draft season. We are here for another Friday Night Mocks episode here on Get Right Fantasy Network. And like Classic said here, we do have a special guest hanging out here in the green room. This man needs no introduction. He is going to be drafting from the 9 spot here tonight. He's the man with many names. You might know him as the Fantasy CEO. Maybe you know him as Papa Conks, aka the best dressed man in fantasy football. He has so many names. One of them actually is AKA, but we all probably know him here as the Fantasy Tycoon from the Fantasy Boardroom. What's going on, Tycoon? How you doing tonight?
What up?
There it is.
Feels good to be back. It's been a long time, boys. How are you?
Good, man. Glad to have you back.
Doing good, brother.
Pumped to be here. I'm excited. Like you said, Scotty Fish season. Ready to do this mock. Been doing way too many of them lately. It's consuming all my free time. Still will for another 2 weeks until the live draft commences. So,
Oh yeah, I know how that is.
I'm pretty much ready for it to go nothing like any of the mocks we've done.
It won't.
So
Absolutely
as we
not.
all know, you just have to be on your feet, but it's just kind of nice to know who's all there when you're going to be picking. So we're going to definitely get into that here. I've been in a ton of them myself, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. What's up to everybody out in the chat tonight? How's everybody going? You guys have any questions here about the Scott Fish Bowl or anything else fantasy related? Drop it in the chat. Make sure you do. I guess before we kind of get started here, we definitely got to pay the bills. Give a little shout out to our sponsor, UnderdogFantasy.com. And when you guys go there, if you don't know, they're a best ball platform. They have their big Best Ball Mania tournament going on right now, 3 million to first place. They have the Dalmatian, bunch of other things. They just launched even the weekly fantasy. So you basically draft a team for the entire year. But they're paying out weekly. So whoever scores like the most points just in 1 week will get 20 grand, and they're paying that every single week. So make sure you get in there, check all those out. Use that promo code Get Right as Mike put on right there. Because when you do, you will get that deposit match up to $100, 100%. So again, use that promo code Get Right when you do. So without any further ado, man, let's bring up this mock and let's get this thing started.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
You're the one in the driver's seat. You got to start us up.
Oh, thanks for telling me.
Yeah.
See, you gave me the keys back.
I gave him back the keys.
It's crazy. I'm driving my own ship again. But yeah, man. So while we're getting this going, we'll get it started to everybody here. For those that are in the mock with us tonight, if you guys are with any other podcasts or anything, drop your information in the chat. I love supporting everybody there. Again, appreciate everyone who supported us. We're trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. We're almost at that 900 mark. So help us get there, man. We don't want to be the best kept secret. come out here for a mock on Friday nights. We'll be doing more. Got our mock tournament, as you see scrolling down at the bottom. That'll be coming up here soon. That's a lot of fun. But we'll get into it here. So let me get this thing started. I'm not even in the mock room, so you're gonna have to give me one more second here. But why don't you tell me a little bit about the Scotty Fish Bowl while I get this thing started, Mike?
Yeah, so of course, Scotty Fish Bowl is a big charity tournament that's held every year by Scott Fish himself, the big kahuna. The guy's been doing this for 13 years plus. I mean, he's one of the best in the business. Make sure you guys are signing up for Scotty Fish Bowl 14 if you're not in the 13. Just go on scottfish.com. When you do, there's a place to go sign up for 14, but you have to be registered. That's the only way you're going to be able to get in this, at all. Make sure you guys are following Fantasy Cares and SFB merch as well on Twitter. Those are the biggest things to do at this point, and those are the best ways to get in if you need to get in at all. That's how me and Ant got in. We just did some runs and races with the guys over there. Dynasty Outhouse, Jeff, I think, or John. I got to get it right.
John Bosch and Russ.
John Bosch.
And
John Bosch. Yeah, there's so many guys. I'm meeting Dynasty Outhouse at the live draft in New York in 2 weeks.
Very nice.
So I'm excited to meet him. He's actually donating 2 jerseys for. He's donating a Daniel Jones jersey, signed jersey, and a Garrett Wilson. Huh?
Oh. I said for last place.
No, no, he's throwing them in for donations and auction bids and stuff like that. So there's going to be auctions there. The New York Live one is going to be great. It's going to be at Tito Murphy's. I think it's like 41st between 8th and 9th Street. It's going to be a good time. Anybody's welcome to come down. You don't have to be drafting. As long as you're coming by to have a good time. They're going to be doing all types of stuff there the whole night. Really excited for that particular draft. So we also have the scoring, just so people are aware, this is the scoring format. There's a whole new scoring format now because of everything going on. He wants people to indulge. So there is no negative scoring this year. So if you can see everything on the screen, there is not one negative stat on this screen. It's fantastic.
It's a great update for this year, I gotta admit.
Oh yeah, and it's one of those things where you're basically it's for tight ends, it's 2 points per reception basically. In most situations, that's why you see Travis Kelce going so early. You also have basically you get a half or a full. It's a full point for a first down, correct? Or
correct?
Half point. Yeah, full point,
and an extra full point for tight end. So for tight ends, any first down catch is 4 points plus whatever the yardage was to get that first down. Minimum of 4 points on any first down catch for a tight end.
Yeah, so
very
tight ends
generous for that. It's tight end super premium.
Oh yeah, that's basically what it is, and you have to do some research and do some reading on what these the scoring formats will be, like how it will help your the particular players that are on the field, but essentially it's really just a redraft. It's really, there's no trading, there's no you can add drop, that's about it. But basically it's
Correct.
6 point touchdowns for everybody. Rushing doesn't, rushing helps, and especially for rushing quarterbacks, they get that 0.2 extra for every carry. So for that, that's why you see guys like Lamar, Josh Allen, Mahomes, Hurts, those guys going earlier than most. Fields has been dropping a little bit. I think people are more worried about his passing yardage more than his running.
Where he's gone here is in line with most of the mocks I've been a part of.
Likewise. I mean, I haven't seen him go any farther than that. I saw a mock today that had Burrow and Trevor Lawrence on the same team. I couldn't believe it. And it was on my 7th spot. And I was like, wait, what? Like, how did he get all the way back down? Like, it made no sense. I mean, last week, Right? That's crazy. I mean, last week we did our mock and we had, 2 or 3 people going, 0 QB all the way down to the 5th round. 2 people doing the exact same thing. So, I think that the consensus so far is the first 4, 5, 6 rounds have been mostly QBs. QBs definitely get a big bump in this particular format,
Right.
as a whole, just because of the no negative points. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. It's
I
okay.
was,
I was
I
just
was
letting
having
you
some
do your thing.
problems, man.
Nah,
No, that was
hey,
good. I
Put
appreciate you
your
holding it
internet
over.
service provider on blast right now.
Seriously,
whoever your service provider is, go to
that
hell.
SoCal Spectrum is hurting me
Oof.
right now. Yeah, that's
For
tough. And I
shame.
even pay for like the highest one before you go to fiber, but I might have to make that jump to go to fiber here. But anyway, man.
It's not
But
a
no, you
speed
guys
problem.
are.
It's a connection problem. They can't keep you connected. It doesn't matter if it's fiber
Oh,
or
see,
not.
there you go. Must be high traffic time. It's because we're getting this mock going on. I probably got too many windows open.
And we're breaking the
Is what
internet.
it is. Yeah, it
Yeah,
happens.
man, we're
It
definitely
happens.
breaking the internet. I like it.
Breaking it
That's usually
down.
what
No,
happens to me, man. That's why I've had so many shows. I'm lucky I had guys like Jeff and Chris on a couple of weeks ago when I fell out of the show.
oh
They made
yeah,
it to
that's right.
continue. I was
They
like,
held it
"What's
down.
going on?" They held it down, though. I love those guys.
You were
Shout out
very
to
So
good.
just
Chris
be
and
on
Jeff.
point.
Yeah.
Be ready, Tycoon, in case that happens. You might just have to
Yeah.
take the show over for us. But yeah, man, I wanted to say before we got started. But yeah, just like Wilson said here, shout out to Wilson. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you are watching here. Almost 40% of our viewership comes from unsubscribed people. So just hit that subscribe button for us, man. Help us out. Help us get to 1,000. We're trying to hit that 900
Almost
mark right
there.
now. So we're almost there, man. So help us grow. But yeah, man, I just want to give a special thanks to real quick. I wanted to do it at the top of the show, but I
Oh,
was
you're
having some
good.
technical difficulties. But just giving a big shout out to Jeff Lambert, man, over and at Going for Two Live and Going for Two.com. Check out the description. I have the links and everything in there for them. A lot of the drafters or some of them here that we got to come in last minute to fill this thing for us. Last minute when we had a couple folks drop off came from there. In that Discord, that's where I've been getting into all my SFB mocks lately so far. We're good for our redraft mocks and we have a good group, in our channel for that. But these guys have a bunch of the SFB connections, people trying to get their practice in. So it's definitely been a fun time. So if you haven't already, get in there, and get in some of those FSB mocks, man.
To add
Yeah.
on to that, also fantasymocks.com.
That's all I got.
For
all I got.
an automated mock.
Oh, there you go.
So give that one. It's a little less accurate to start. It's still kind of building ADP on who's doing it, but it gets better as it goes along, and it's still a good way to just kind of bang them out, not have to worry about spending half an hour plus on any given mock.
Yeah.
And you can reset at any point. So hey, you just want to see
Right.
what happens as you're playing with the first, 5 picks, the foundation of your team. It's easy to just essentially, run simulations over and over and over. And now, again, it probably won't be anything like what happens in the microclimate of your own division, but it's still a worthy exercise to see what generally is available.
No, that's fair. I mean, there's a lot of places that I've found. I mean, I follow Smokey Joe and
Shout out to Gator
who
J.
else? Smokey Joe, Coach Bruce. Yeah,
Yep.
Gator J,
I'm in a mock
a
with
bunch
him
of
right
other
now.
guys on Twitter. Yeah, I do mocks with all different types of people that are all over the place. Slow drafts mostly, just because it's easier to do during the week. We have a slow draft going currently that we had out. We're going to try to get more out closer to the end of the, probably tomorrow. We could probably get another one out just to get people more involved right up to the Scotty Fish in general. The Scotty Fish Potathon will be on July 8th to the 9th. It's 36 hours long. Make sure you guys check them out. Make sure you guys follow them. If you're not in, they'll get I'm pretty sure they might give you opportunities to get in like last minute, because I think they drafting starts on the 10th, I think, for a lot of slow drafts.
Right.
So I think they're going to maybe give out a couple things. I could be wrong. I don't know anything. Honestly, I don't. But give it a shot. It's probably worth, a few minutes of your time and especially, donating to charities in general. They're going to want, see, even now my internet is now screwing up because of Anthony's internet.
There we go.
Way to go, SoCal
So
Spectrum.
just make sure you guys check them out. It's going to be
Exactly.
fun. It's 36 hours worth. Yeah.
There it
No,
is.
I don't have SoCal. I have something else.
No, you were
Yeah,
so
playing
it's
you're
just
Anthony's
not,
definitely
it's
internet.
just
far
not
from there.
meshing right now. Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I have to.
so we had to
blame
put him on
Anthony
blast
for
one
the
more
internet
time.
problems.
And to your point about
Nice.
the
While you make
Scott
your
Fish
pick, I just want to
Spotathon,
remind
it's,
everybody too that's new to the Scotty Fish Bowl.
man, I think we're
Go
having
ahead, go ahead.
delays, but that's why we're talking over each other.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Tycoon.
Oh, but yeah, what I was going to say is it really is worth your time. I mean, obviously, if you have any intention to donate, they'll help you with that. I mean, obviously, the whole point of this entire tournament, donate to Fantasy Cares, but also, excuse me,
It's
they
charity
get
in
an
general.
all-star together. I mean, it's a great watch. Anybody and everybody from fantasy, it feels like, is somehow involved in at least some sort of 15-minute or half-hour spot at a minimum. So it's very much worth your time. Check it out.
For sure. So we got Dadbot in the
Absolutely.
house. Welcome, Dadbot. Thank you for checking us out. I just connected with Dadbot.
Yeah, just subbed a dad bod. Yeah.
Just-
Good stuff. Glad to have you here. We got Jared Griffin going. Y'all usually see Tyreek make it to the third? No. Very rare. Very, very rare. This is a rare occurrence at the 301. He usually makes it through, or he usually doesn't make it past like the 2-9 in most
Yeah,
drafts.
that's usually where I've been seeing them.
So no, this is a rare occurrence and a really, really stacked squad right there with Brocal, going with the 0 QB. So teams are, shaping up. I've been trying to find the best way to go about your first 5-6 rounds, just in general. I've done all different types of, first starts and stuff. I've started with Jefferson. I actually got Kelsey at the 7. Don't know how that happened. I've started with running back. I've started with everything that you could possibly imagine to try to build my team from certain points. And I've seen that the best way to kind of do it is get your starting QB, running back, wide receiver, and quarterback within the first 4 rounds. And maybe even a tight end. If you want to throw in the top 5 tight ends, with Hawk or Andrews, anybody in that particular, order, get those first 4 or 5 down that are like not overlapping. You don't want to have like I just did with the Cup and the Higgins, but you want to have something where you can have a little bit of variety, because after a certain point, everything falls off the face of a cliff. And it's basically you're just grabbing anybody you can and anybody you like after, I think, like the 8th round. That it basically is just no holds bar at that point. Have you guys seen that, or is it more? Do you guys have a better? Of course you did. Do you guys have a better strategy towards everything?
Well,
Go ahead, Tycoon.
to say better is still, I think, a little bit of hubris at this point.
Agreed. Yeah.
So I'm not going to go that far, but I would say as far as different, yes, I think it's really influenced by what draft position you're holding. That makes a wild difference. Like where I'm at the 9 really depends on who goes in front. Like in this case, Jefferson did go in front of me, which I'm thankful for, because I would not take Jefferson that high in this particular format. I've had some mocks where Herbert has fallen to me. In that case, I would have taken Herbert instead of McCaffrey. That's kind of the Mendoza line for me with quarterbacks, is when Herbert goes in the first round.
Okay.
A lot of my 9 teammates have some different opinions, or 9 slot mates rather, but I'm not going to sell them out because, there's a lot of, who knows who could be watching. There could be spies, so I don't want to give away any strategy from there, but some people
and
have
that's a thing. That's a thing. Other guys getting into another
9s
chat
are together.
to find out.
9s are together. We're coming. So whoever the 9 is in your division, watch out for them.
Yeah.
We got 70 people or so in our chat for that one.
we have like
69, I think.
Oh, dude, I have like 109 in mine.
Oh, you got cheaters in there.
I definitely got something in there.
Your spot's blown up.
We got a ton of people in that one. That's my big one. Our 102. We have 102 people.
Oh
in
wow.
That. Yeah, we
So
got a lot of
big
people.
picture though, as far as I don't think you really need to grab a receiver that early, at least not in the spot that I'm in and in this format as a whole. I mean, for me, I think it's more important to get at least 2 solid running backs in the first 4 rounds minimum. Ideally, I mean, I could even argue 3 running backs if
I'm trying
they
to get
fall the
3
right
and
way
5.
and only 1 quarterback. So for a person who's kind of abandoned running back in traditional formats, this is
What's up, Brad? Just connected with him yesterday.
JWN71 is dead to me.
Oh, dude,
he got you.
I've been
That is brutal.
in multiple mocks with him at the 6th and the 8th. He's been jumping back and forth. He's been. I've had him everywhere.
Which one he wants,
and he has sniped the living shit out of me every time. Every time.
Very well done.
But anyways, back to what I was saying before.
Yeah.
My boy got swooped. I think there's so few elite ceiling running backs anymore. It feels like as running back by committee has continued to take hold across the league.
Yeah.
So it's really important to try to nail down that position as much as anything. And I actually think that with no negative scoring, it almost levels quarterback a little bit. Like, obviously, those top 5 guys, you heard it's Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, possibly Burrow and Herbert. Like, they'll still be that tier above. But I mean, after that, I think you get kind of back to that old 1 QB redraft kind of mindset where you just kind of need a guy to be consistently decent. Now, you still want to shoot for a guy who can have strong weekly ceilings just because it's a large field tournament, so that matters. But those things, and also with the scoring, with the extra quarter point per rush and per first down, that also is just in favor of the running back position. So I think you really can afford to wait on wide receiver, and I think you can get away with not really having that really top receiver as your wide receiver 1. You can get away with, maybe you don't have to wait as long as Lockett, but I mean, something like a Chris Godwin could be your wide receiver 1 and you'll be fine.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
You'll be fine. Chris Godwin is a fantastic football
I think
player.
my tier of wide receiver 1s might be a smidge higher than that. For me, it's Amari Cooper. If you're rocking, is exactly what you're saying. Like Amari Cooper,
2 good quarterbacks, and Nick Chubb and Christian McCaffrey, and possibly a Josh Jacobs. Like, that's still, I'll take that over any. I don't know. Any top 6 to 12 receiver, because I'm certainly not going to take anybody in the top 5 range.
Yeah. Dynasty Bluff just took the guy I was looking to get on the way back.
You want everybody, Mike. I'm just gonna tell everybody too, just for the folks that are watching that might be new to the Scotty Fish Bowl. If you probably saw, I was having those technical issues earlier, but I would just wanted to remind everybody about that 3rd round reversal. So that's real important, and why, of course, you want to get so many mocks in there. Just because it's not your traditional snake draft. With that 3rd round reversal, kind of gives you a different set of players that you're choosing from based on that initial start. So that's why it is so important. And I think for me here in the 2 spot, it's a really unique build, kind of like you guys were talking about, as far as, if Kelsey, pretty much if the 101 doesn't take Kelsey, I'm pretty much taking Kelsey 9 times out of 10. Of course, if Kelsey gets taken first, I'm usually taking Mahomes. Just because of that, especially in a big tournament, that week 17 matchup with Cincinnati. I don't want to deal with Allen in the snow, even though I know Allen is been the QB1 in this format for last couple of years. So, it's just kind of finding those things out, when to take that second quarterback to where I feel comfortable, because I did take that tight end early. So I feel like I'm kind of digging out, like Big Bone did here, said, saying he went with Jefferson to see if he could dig out. So, that's why, again, we do these mocks. And just now that we're kind of into a couple rounds here, I just kind of want to go through, if you guys don't mind, maybe we can go through a couple of the teams and just kind of see what we think about the start, or maybe we could just go by the rounds. So let's take round 1, pretty much we've kind of talked about already. As far as those
that's a typical round 1.
Pretty chalky.
Yeah,
it's pretty
crazy there.
I think the only thing that we've seen, like even the chat brought up, Tyreek Hill dropping to the 3rd round. I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've seen.
Getting there normal though, like Tycoon saying. I think as these things start to mellow out a
Level
bit, and
out,
people
yeah.
get out of that redraft mindset, full PPR redraft mindset.
Yeah.
They're going to, in that best ball, I think they'll start dropping those wide receivers down. Hopefully they're not, because I like taking advantage of those RBs
The
and that
dip,
point per
yeah.
carry, because that's important. That 0.25 point per carry. You want those guys who are getting, those 15 plus touches, ideally a game if you can.
Agreed. Yeah.
And you're only getting those guys if you're getting them early.
Right.
No, I agree. I mean, the only other guy that I can see at all, Lamb, going 3.5. Everyone else looks pretty standard. I mean, you kind of grabbed Goff earlier than most do, which I
But
wish.
he doesn't make it back to me if
I
I've
know.
tried so many and there's
No.
way he's
It
making
makes
back.
sense why you did it. My point is that it sucks because I'm so used to him. I'm so used to him falling to me in the fourth that I always have Burrow and Goff in 90% of what I do, at the 7. But that's because you're smart about it. You're thinking ahead, and you're grabbing to your favorite running backs right now, which I know this is for you. That's a great grouping.
One guys who have
you,
no
love
competition in their backfield. That's what I'm trying to target.
Well, me too. That's why I grabbed Najee.
I see you, Mike.
No, volume is gold.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I grabbed guys like Najee. I like it. I wanted you don't really need to stack in this particular format. I've heard a lot of people saying that stacking isn't really something that you need to do at all. So it's one of those things where if you can get it, great. If it works with what you're building, like I could have grabbed Brown or Wilson or Adams or whoever, but for me, I already had Kupp, and I felt like Higgins, going with Burrow would be a good ad. But beyond that, I think everything else has been status quo for the most part. I haven't seen anybody really, go crazy yet.
I thought you took Cousins kind of early, Rasta. I gotta admit.
No,
Yeah.
it was. I just like his volume.
I was really surprised.
I'm actually worried about Dak's just overall volume. I think they're not going to run as many plays this year with Kellen Moore going over to the Chargers. I just think they want to do a little more control there. So I'm kind of just, again, it's a mock, so I'm kind of just feeling it out as well too. But just again, if Jefferson's going to be the wide receiver 1 to me, that means Kirk Cousins is going to be putting in the air a lot to him. So I just kind of want to capitalize and just get my piece of Jefferson that way. Plus, I also like kind of having that little stack with Madison down here at the end, as well as having the potential to stack KJ Osborne super late because I do wait so long. Then I like kind of having that little trio stack, even though I'm not real big against it. I just think it helps just eke out a little more value for my later round guys.
Yeah, I like having, if I'm doing Cousins at all, the
and two is just the injury risk in this kind of tournament where there's going to be no quarterbacks left and no trading. Like I don't want to take. It's just a little bit too risky for me. I'll shave off a little ceiling to just have that nice plug them and know what I'm going to get every week, unless it's a primetime game.
Counterpoint to the safety versus ceiling here. It's 3,300 teams.
True.
Safety gets you nothing.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
You're playing for second place with that mindset in this, and you're not that kind of guy. I'm surprised to hear you say.
No, I'm not. But like I said, I'm trying to really think it out and build the team. I think that could get there, just all around, all those little things kind of in mind, and just try to have the most solid upshot team that I can have. I just think we kind of know the Vikings being more run heavy and stuff. Obviously, they're opening that offense more. I think they'll open it up even more this year with the addition of Addison. Yeah. And that's another, piece that I like to even target late with that Kirk Cousins, piece. He tends to keep going on the opposite side of the draft board, but I'm hoping on draft day, maybe he falls to me there. So I don't have to go with that KJ Osborne. Would much rather have Addison if I can get him. But, again, those are just some of the things, I'm thinking through.
You're thinking about.
Because, again, I'm not getting Waddle. I'm not getting Tyreek Hill with Tua, right. So there's no correlation there. Maybe some minor correlation with Devon A-Chain that I could get late there as the passing back in Miami. But then, of course, drafting right now, we don't know. Is Cook going to go there? Is one of those other running backs going to go there? You just too much uncertainty when you're drafting this early. Like you said, when it's redraft, I shoot for the ceiling because a lot of the information we know by then when
Yeah,
we're
we don't
drafting,
know that now.
first week of September or, first week before September, last week of August. But, drafting here July 10th, I need to make sure my ducks are in a row. But again, this is my first year in Scott Fish Bowl, so take it from these guys. They've been here, before me. So,
Well, we had different formats. I mean, last year was a completely different format.
Kirk
And-
Cousins was more valuable in the past. Put
Yeah,
it that way.
Kirk
That would
Cousins
have been a great pick in the previous
last
that
year.
completion
Yeah.
percentage.
That would have been last
Right.
year. It would have been perfect because of the completion percentage and all that stuff. Like that's who he was. That's why I did really well with guys like I had Justin Herbert as my one. I was in the 102, and I had Justin Herbert. I had Jared Goff and Jimmy Garoppolo, who until he went down was, they were consistent. They always put up 20 plus every week, and it worked out in my favor. So, guys, that worked in that format. In this format, it doesn't matter. Like you want the guys that can run, and it's all upside. There's no downside for any of these guys, to be honest. So you're just grabbing the best piece possible at this point. At least that's what I'm seeing.
I'll take that. I'll take
Yeah.
that. What's up, Drunk Squidward? Glad to have
What
you
up,
here, brother.
Drunk?
How you doing?
What up, Squid?
How's it going? But yeah, did you guys get all these other things that were in the chat? Was there anything we missed when I was having all those
No, we've been
issues up there? You got
everyone's
to
just
everybody?
no,
All right.
everyone's just listening in. If you guys have questions, don't hesitate, reach out. We're here to talk with you guys. That's the whole point of this. Answer questions, see how we're feeling and give you guys our insights. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to put it in the chat and we'll get to you. Don't you
Breaking
worry.
ball. Breaking
Yeah,
ball
we're-
in the chat is saying Tycoon's eating up all them elite RBs.
Oh yeah. Of course he is. I was gonna ask because I see
Tycoon and I are
I'm
the only
gonna-
ones who haven't drafted a receiver yet.
yeah,
In
crazy.
7 rounds.
And
Now
I have
I'm
30
gonna-
seconds to decide if that's going to change.
I think this is about where I'm pulling that trigger too.
See, I'm gonna wait until he makes his pick because I have to ask him. Because last season he was huge on DeAndre Swift. And I'm curious, since I haven't been able to talk to you since, what is your feeling of him now in Philadelphia with guys like Rashard Penny? They still kept Gainwell. Of course, their line's good. They did lose their left guard. But beyond that, they're pretty solid. Do you still feel confident in Swift's, consistent? I know you drafted him, but do you still feel the same?
Yeah, I mean, my confidence in the talent and the player is exactly the same. And now he's going to a team with a better offensive line, a better offense in general, more weapons around in general. So even when he's on the field, he'll likely be less of a focus. And they also have to respect the rushing ability of Hurts anytime. So there's only things that really have worked in his favor. Now, I know a lot of people feel like because Hurts is a mobile quarterback that he's not really going to check down very much to Swift, and there may be some truth to that, but frankly, we don't really know because Hurts has never really had Gainwell can receive. I mean, he's fine, but he's not DeAndre Swift, so we'll see. I mean, personnel dictates what the coordinator decides to call, I think. And you can't expect things to be exactly the same year over year, especially now that Steichen is gone. So, and I actually have no idea who they've brought in as the offensive coordinator, who's more promoted from within or whatever they did.
I forgot. Yeah,
I expect it to be a very similar offense regardless. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any major change. There's no reason to.
Okay. Do you think that it's just more? It's more to help that particular committee, the amount of running backs they have, the rotation that they're going to have, just more as a helpful tool more than a hurtful tool, because helpful in the context that it's going to help them with injuries and help them sustain less in this case, because you're rotating out so much that it gets to the point
yes, I think overall, especially for a guy who's had some health trouble since entering the league, unfortunately, maybe a little less snap percentage will be in his favor. Not that that was really his issue in Detroit anyways, just a couple of them were just bad luck injuries, frankly. But I don't know that really. I think overall it really only is a positive because he's never going to be a big high volume guy. I don't think the NFL views him that way. He's not going to get 25 touches in the game, from anybody. So it'll be a matter of the touches he gets. And I think he'll be I think it really hurts Gainwell a lot. I think his role is really going to be the most reduced in that backfield. I do think as long as, and you can't talk about Swift's health without also bringing up Penny. So depending on the health of that duo, I think will play a role. I mean, that's so unpredictable. I mean, because of the health history of those two guys, it's so hard to say anything with a strong degree of confidence. But what I will say is, I don't really play with predicting injuries in mind for the vast majority of players. So I take that risk.
I don't predict
guys with
new
injury
injuries.
history, sure. But what did I get him in here? The 6th round. I mean, I'm willing to take that risk on a guy with insane upside in a top probably 3 offense in the league.
No, that's fair.
I think he's in a great spot. I'm very high on him here. I mean, I don't think he's. I'm not pounding the table for him as a top 10 running back these days, especially until we see a little bit of how Sirianni and co want to use him. But everything's on the table for him. And I think if he earns Hurts's trust in particular, he'll see a lot of the ball.
Okay. No, that's fair.
So,
No, I'm excited to
Nice
see
take.
what they can do in general. I mean, of course, I'm not rooting for them, but I'm still trying to see how they're going to do as a whole. This coming season, and what that backfield and just that offense as a whole can do. It's a very potent offense to, to watch and see how they do. In the chat we have Calvin Brown going, how does the panel feel about Bijan in this format? I know he's a rook.
Change my question? I had a whole different question queued up.
Oh, did you? I did not
Go
see
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
My
Yeah.
bad. Who did you
I was
have?
just waiting for you to stop talking so I can say it. For Drunk Squidward, he came in first. But it's all good. We'll get to yours,
Well,
Brokaw. We know
I
you're
know
here.
that. I was waiting for his I was going to get the question and then go through that. Drunk knows.
Just real quick. He said, went all in on one league. Yeah, he's been here a while. It's all good. Traded my rookies for Eckler, Waller, and Brandon Cooks. So I don't mind, man. If you're making a move to go all in to win it, that's what you're for. We're not here, like Kuhn said earlier, we're not here for second place. But go ahead. Read off his question.
No, how does the panel feel about Bijan in this format? I know he's a rook and unproven. Just wondering the temperature on him right now. I mean, I can tell you guys that I think that he's going to be used. I mean, often. I mean, he's like Saquon. It's just, I understand Tyler Algier being there and Patterson as well. I think they're all going to be used in one way or another, but I don't think that it's going to really matter. I think that they're going to just run him into the ground for the most part, get his feet wet, let him go. And, I think that's going to be how he is. So to be honest, where did he go here? He went in like the
2-3 as the RB3.
2-3 RB3. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much where he should be.
Even though sooner in your 1 QB league, so be a first round pick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you at, Tycoon?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I probably have him more like 5 or 6 in my own rankings, but I'm still pretty high in him. I mean, top 3 RB is certainly a very realistic outcome for him. And in this format in particular, because I think he's going to get wild volume. So I think he's in the right spot here for Scott Fishbowl in particular. Even if it's only, and I say only, I mean, it's a monster share in today's day, but say 60% of the carries. I mean, that's more than enough to justify his position.
And that's if they're smart about it. I mean, they do still have Tyler Algier, who did very well last season. If they don't want to run him into the ground to make him so dependent, where he's just, you don't want to throw the rookie out right away and run him into the ground. But they're, Arthur Smith showed last year that he just likes to run the ball, and that's fine. But and that's why they drafted him. To be honest, I mean, he's just a bell cow. I mean, he's a guy that can do that. But I think that a lot of people want to see a little bit more, what Christian McCaffrey got in San Francisco. Like you don't want Bijan in the Carolina setup, if that makes sense. Where you get him 100% of the 100% of the team's offense. Like we don't want that. You want him to have that lower amount to kind of get the quality touches. God damn you, Tycoon.
That wouldn't have happened if you didn't take Cooper a couple rounds earlier.
I
I would have veered a different path.
No, it's okay. I have
love the sound of Mike getting sniped. Love the sound of Mike getting sniped.
It hurts because it was so close. I was gonna pick him in the 8-7. I was gonna pick him right before that, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think CJ Stroud's gonna make it all the way back, and I wanted to try Stroud, and I'm like, you know what?
He might have made it back too. That's
It makes me happy though that you're on.
Not only did you get sniped, and nobody took any quarterbacks there. So that's
I know. I could have probably gotten away with it.
Very nice. What was I? Yeah, no, that's tough. Let's see. So Brad said, "What the heck is Team 6 doing?" Yikes! Sam Howell as QB1. So who's that? Big Boned.
That's Big Boned with Sam.
So again, this is why we mock. So Sam Howell is QB1, Trey Lance as the QB2. A little rough. Might have waited a little too long. But again, you just kind of want to see how your team fills out like this. So it's also good to be aware, if this does happen in your draft, quarterbacks that you might think, that would normally stay there a little while because everyone has their quarterbacks. You might be kind of pounding some quarterbacks here late just to kind of go quantity over quality. So you just kind of have to be aware of that as well too. And that hurts.
That's why I like hitting it early because
Hoosier girl
man,
just got me with P Ryan. I normally don't get sniped like that. Actually, I do, but
that was a good one.
That was a good one. Shout out to Hoosier girl over there.
Words I never thought I'd hear. I got sniped on Samaje P Ryan.
Right? Seriously. I mean, I probably shouldn't be drafting another running back right now, but I think I want to because
and this is 2008. You just RBs.
Seriously,
baby. Like,
you guys,
get them in there.
You guys are nuts. But we had Drunk going. How do you feel about Sam Howell? Me personally, I traded him on the high. I don't think he'll be a long-term solution. I like Sam Howell a lot. Maybe not for this format, but I like him. I think he's an accurate quarterback. I think he is the better fit for that offense. I think Eric Bellamy can make him better.
The enemy, but yeah.
Did I say that right?
I thought I said
I
got you. We know you have little issues. Maybe it was just my internet.
The enemy. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
whatever.
I
didn't emphasize that. BE enemy. Anyway,
yeah, it's just the accent. It's the accent. I forgot.
It's that New Yorker accent. The whole point is that I do feel like he can do well. The weapons around they built a good team that's around him already. I mean, Terry McLaurin with Dotson, with Chris Samuel, with Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinson. There's a lot of guys there that can support him. They're building that offensive line. Honestly, I think that team has a lot of good pieces for someone like Sam Howell to be able to perform well, and especially in that type of offense. Their defense is actually pretty underrated considering what they have. They do have good pieces around it. So for me, I don't mind Sam Howell at all. I think he can be productive. He doesn't really have anybody fighting with him, to be honest. Who's behind him?
Brissett, who I think takes over by halfway through the season.
You do? You really do?
I am not a Howell fan, frankly.
Interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't say I expect it, but they might decide to, just keep riding and see what they have, give him the year. But it wouldn't shock me if Brissett is in there by week 9 at all.
Okay. It's fair. I mean, it's a fair point. And, it's definitely someone that I target late if I'm going real late on QB. I tend to be the one to wait longer on my second QB if the 2 or 3 guys that I really like are gone. I wait. If I see Goff, Cousins, Jones, and Geno off the board at around the 4th, 5th round, I pretty much I'll punt QB and go tight end, and I'll grab a few tight ends that I really like and go from there. So Yeah, I definitely see what you're talking about.
Jared heard Bellamy, just for the record.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
So Rivera is a
Yeah.
veterans guy
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
absolutely. Where else was here?
Who should I?
So
do?
yeah, so Brendan, just to answer your question over there, Brad, Brendan said no, he's not doing that again. So this is why we mock. So he definitely waited, wanted to see how long you could wait and what you'd end up with. You don't want to leave that long. So he says, I spy Trey Lance just went off the board. Where's my boy Purdy? Jay Media, a fellow Niner in here.
Because
What's up,
arm
man?
is still.
I'd rather have
Um,
Purdy though.
That's-
I like Purdy
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. I'll take
I mean,
Purdy
frankly,
late.
if you draft one, you have to draft both.
I've been taking him
is
late
my
if I can. This
opinion in
PPD3.
that. And it should be easy enough to get both. So just insulate
Right.
yourself is my thought there.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are.
And you do
guys-
have to get Lance before Purdy also.
You do.
So
You do.
there you go. Dad Bod
Wild
Fantasy
as it
Squad
seems.
says with 6-point passing TDs. Yeah, it's pretty bold to take Hurts over Mahomes. No, is this not as impactful as I think it is, or am I missing another SFB
Quarter
rule?
point per rush. That is
Yeah, the rush.
SFB
Quarter
rule
point
there
per
that's making the
rush.
difference there.
See,
and
I-
that point per first down because he rushes, so he'll get that point per first
That
down
too.
also. And they're always
True.
doing those quarterback sneaks that they haven't quite
Yeah.
outlawed yet. So that's
They
why you
should.
see it kind of go Hurts. And I just, again, I like the playoff schedule of Mahomes a little better. I just think there's a little more ceiling there. And you
Son of
know that week 17, ooh, another snipe. Sniper in the building. But that week 17 matchup against Cincy is what leans me over Mahomes over Ertz.
All right, then.
But
Yeah.
you know, and just again, you know, he didn't really finish the year out strong last
Yeah.
year. So you pretty much know, even I mean, Mahomes even played with a high ankle sprain. Not saying that people can't.
No, apparently
but
that was false. He did not play with an ankle sprain. He apparently
Something
was
was up.
faking that the whole time.
I don't think you're faking running around like
Big
that.
Ben 2.0, huh? All right. All right.
In the Super Bowl, you're
That's-
going to do all that? That's crazy.
Okay,
That's just
it's the
clearly-
entertainment business roster.
That's just
They're
taking.
just
Yeah, I was
putting
going
on
to
a show.
say.
I'm
That's just taking
clearly
it to-
taking
Oh, I didn't get
somebody
the
else's
script.
take.
Yeah, I didn't get the script.
Come on, I'm
I'm gonna say,
taking
yeah, what is
somebody
the
else's
script for the
take.
Super Bowl?
Yeah, shout
Need
out
to
to
see a
Arian
copy.
Foster. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I forgot who said it, but someone said that during it was someone on the who they play. It was someone on the Eagles that said something about the concept that he wasn't hurt. It was recent. Someone said it. I forgot who it was. I don't remember at all, but someone said that he was not hurt at all and that he faked it. Like that was like the thing. It is.
Who
what it
cares?
is.
You guys lost.
Oh, it was Brandon
Go for it.
Graham. It was Brandon Graham. That's who it was. He said that he faked it. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, even if he did, they still beat you. So
Yeah. Basically.
yeah, see,
There it is.
Dad Bod got it right. See, he
Okay,
knew
see?
he knew
That's why
he-
we're doing these mocks, man. That's why we're
Right?
here.
well, no, he was trying to help me out with the defensive tackle or D end, and it was Graham. So
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah, he knew what I was talking about. I
Okay.
saw it the other
There you
day.
go.
I was sitting there like, really? You're gonna say that it was fake? Like he was clearly limping. Like he was clearly like, oh,
Yeah.
this hurts like hell. You know?
It's a little more to know you lost to a guy who was limping.
Yeah.
It was about enough. We lost to the same dude being up
Oh
like
yeah.
20 points in the fourth quarter. Like
Yeah.
again, I'm still not ready to
Ah.
talk about it. But
Should I take Brock
He's just-
here just to be a dick?
Well, that's not really being a dick. That's not being a dick at all.
No,
That's
I don't
actually
want to
kinda
take
smart
him. I'm
move there.
just
It's like,
You do you.
going
there,
in with
Tycoon.
the previous conversation. Yeah.
You, you.
Hey, I wasn't about it. Go ahead. I love that extra somebody else falling to me a little later. I'll take it.
No, I just want.
now. You
One-
guys know me. You already knew. You already knew.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
So I want to
Yes.
ask you about that too. Obviously,
Yeah.
everyone's kind of freaking out here about the Bateman situation. To me, I think, I mean, if I
Sorry,
can
I-
grab him this late, I'm taking my chances. You can get him as a
Yeah.
wide receiver 4 or 5.
No,
11th round?
I'm not on
But yeah,
Bateman.
man.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it one time, and I'm gonna just let it be. You
You've
guys.
said it a million times already.
Well, I'm gonna say it again.
If you're gonna slander Lamar, just I'm gonna.
No,
take my
this is
headphones off
not
for a second.
Lamar.
Okay.
No,
All right.
no,
Okay.
this
You
isn't
both.
a
Go ahead.
slander on
Okay.
Lamar.
Oh,
This is enough with you. No, he just had the screws taken out of his for the Liz Frank
Yeah, it's
injury.
normal procedure. It's
No,
normal.
I
And
am
you get a
aware
cortisone shot after that.
procedure, but he's been practicing with the team and needing the what's it called, the cortisone shots just to even participate, which is it's putting a band-aid on a bullet hole, and it's going to take another 3 months for it to heal correctly. He shouldn't even be doing PT for another 3 months. He's not going to be ready for week 1. He will probably be starting on the PUP list. Now, if he doesn't, I'd be surprised. But either way, he has to rehab back in. And a lot of times what happens is they end up getting things like you get calf injuries and stuff to overcompensate for trying to, get back into normal speed for him. He's never going to be full speed again, though. That's the issue here. So for me, I just don't feel comfortable with him at all. I'll take Zay Flowers. I'll go for OBJ real late, even though I don't trust him either. But that's about it. I don't really want anyone else in that offense other than maybe J.K. Dobbins and or Lamar. And at the same time, I don't really want Lamar. He just works in this format because of his rushing upside. If this was redraft, I'm not touching him. That's just me. Like in normal format.
Tycoon, you drafted a wide receiver 1 as your wide receiver 5. We've seen him and Lamar together, and they've put up just ridiculous numbers. The efficiency is outrageous. Again, everything you said would be valid if people were drafting him in the 3rd or 4th, but when you're getting him in the 12th, 11th, 12th round as your wide receiver 5, I mean,
a lot of what Mike said was accurate. I mean, but
you have to acknowledge that it's
baked. But that risk is baked in at that 11th round.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
that's why he's going in the 11th. Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. Is like he's not staying away from. Yeah. He was being drafted in this mid-second last year.
But a guy like that, would I rather have him? I mean, unfortunately, the only other option that I have on the board to show is Tony, which I still wouldn't take either.
Thomas, you're just in this weird zone right here.
It's a weird zone. Like, I'd rather actually have Michael Thomas. And to be fair, I'm low on Michael Thomas.
No way. That dude's foot problem's way worse than Bateman's. At least that's Bateman's the whole 10 point. Years younger, and he's going to heal faster.
Won't be
and it's a different injury.
Wide receiver 1 when he's back on the field now.
Exactly. Not anymore. He has Olave there, and
does Zay Flowers. I mean, that's my whole thing. Like,
I'm not putting a rookie who's never played in as wide receiver 1 over a guy who's performed very well when he's been on the field. Like, I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah, me either. There's no way. Like, I don't know how you could say you're more comfortable with Zay
Also,
Flowers.
I'm lower on Zay Flowers than most in the Dynasty community. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's tough.
Like, I don't know. I don't have a ton of.
It's okay. Defend your pick. You're good.
I just don't. Baltimore's offense doesn't strike me as anything that I want. There's like a few offenses that I just don't want any part of, and that's one of them. I don't want part of them. I don't really want a part of New England unless it's Ramondre Stevenson. Like, there's a lot of different things that, different offenses that I just don't want any part of, and unfortunately, they're just one of them. It's just there's something about it.
They're going to score a lot of points. I mean, I don't know what's not to want about that, frankly.
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable.
It's just hard to choose where, I guess, beyond Lamar and Andrews, but.
Yeah, but that's my whole thing. Like, that's the only 2 people I want in that offense other than Zay Flowers, and he's the only one. Wait, what, Penny?
Yeah, just because I have Swift. I'm only taking Penny later on if I get Swift.
Okay, you don't really need to handcuff in this format, but that I would understand.
You don't need to, but again, just if one of those 2 guys does go down, I mean, Understood. I would love to be the one who has the other one. That's for sure. Whatever.
Oh, agreed. No, he's definitely an RB1 on his own. Yeah.
And you think one of these guys is going to miss some time at some point this year? Yeah, I mean, sure. I do.
Brad's saying he likes teams 3, 4, and 12 right now. He didn't say 2, 6, or 9.
Oh, that's
so
mean.
I pretty much disagree with Brad. I'm just kidding. So let's take a look at these teams. So we'll just kind of take a look at the starts. Team 3 goes Mahomes, Chubb, Wilson, Olave, Wilson, Russell Wilson, quarterback, and then Joe Mixon. Then he gets Njoku, Ayuk, Charbonnet, Cooks, Kincaid, and Purdy. And I probably should have took Purdy there instead of Jay Will, but since I had Goff, it's my first time actually taking Jay Will in a draft. Usually opposed to drafting him knowing you're not even getting the first 6 games out of him.
In regular redraft, I'm fine with that when you've got 14 weeks to go with. It's only 11 weeks before the playoffs.
That's what I
really
mean.
kick off and Scott
It's a
Fish. So
wasted-
yeah, you're really missing a lot with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And then you're hoping he comes in and try to like dethrone ARSB and
No, you're not hoping for that. I don't think so. They can coexist. They play different roles. They can both be great in that offense, I think.
all right.
But
Either way. Yeah, it was still kind of a
still
gross
you
pick.
are sacrificing more than 50% of the season to an empty spot when you take him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
In the-
can't do it.
Yeah, and like that was just way too early. Like maybe if I was like in the 15th, 16th, something like that. But yeah, I definitely don't like that pick there.
I almost never take him.
But yeah, so that was and this is literally my first time drafting him in any mock this year. I haven't even, Mikey, to be proud of me, I haven't even drafted him on Underdog.
Oh
And
my
I'm like-
God, really?
I'm like
You're
35.
huge on that too.
I'm like 35 draft. I can't.
So I
like,
would
like we
throw
just
him
said,
in, Underdog.
See, best
I
ball,
mean,
I,
it kind of
might,
makes sense, but
I
yeah,
might
I
do
just,
it, but
'cause you're playing
he
for
would
that
have
later
to be
upside.
late, though. Yeah,
That's what I mean. He'd have to fall, and he's just going way too early for my liking. So at least I know what I don't want to do. So that's good. But yeah, so that was team 3 mixed in with my little 2 cents on my team there because of the Purdy pick. So well done. His next
like
team,
the
he
wide
says, is
receiver
team
group.
4. Right next to it, Josh Allen, AJ Brown, Tony Pollard, DK Metcalf, Darren Waller, RB2 of James Conner, QB2 of Stafford. His wide receiver 3 is Kirk, who I was kind of considering over Godwin. I was going with any 3 of these guys, but I was kind of hoping I went with Godwin, thinking I was going to get Baker as my QB3 later on. So that was my thought process there. Who
Ooh,
else
are
does
you
he
still
have?
high on?
P Ryan
still
that we
high on-
talked
So is that what's
about?
going to happen?
No, I
What's
was,
that?
I was asking. I
Say,
just
did
saw
you-
the board. Say that again, Tycoon.
I said, did Rossi just give away his next pick?
No,
Maybe.
maybe
It's
I
just a
didn't hear it,
mock.
though.
I'm not tripping, but yeah, I'm just trying to give people the insight, on what we're doing here, not just willy nilly just pressing the green draft button. There's some
No.
thought process behind this. I'm trying to throw alley oops to myself later, as I'm trying to make decisions between guys.
See, I was going to ask Tycoon about his Mike Gesicki pick because me and him traded Gesicki in Dynasty, so I'm curious if he's still feeling that way now that he's on New England because he,
No, still wasn't he already on the Pats at the time we made the trade? Wasn't he? No?
when we made the trade, he
Still a free
he
agent?
was still a free agent, and I was betting on his hopefulness of going to. I was hoping Cincinnati, but unfortunately, he went to the.
So what was it? Gesicki for I think Jelani Woods in a third,
Something like that, yeah.
or a third swap where I went up a little bit, or third into
Something
the
like
late
that.
second.
At the end of the day, it didn't matter.
Basically, the core of it was a minor draft pick upgrade, and then Woods for Gesicki.
Yeah,
And no, I still would take my side. It would for me. It really actually was. I really like Jelani Woods a lot more long term. I'm not expecting anything from him as much this year. I mean, hopefully, maybe we get that rookie QB dependent on his tight end, especially for this particular rookie QB with low accuracy in college.
yeah.
So is he going to take those shorter, safer throws to the big guy? I tend to think yes. So
Even
I think
with
that
Mo
kind of
Alley
broke
there?
him. Even with Mo Alley. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they don't really have much in the way of a receiving with Michael Pittman and nothing. So
No.
I don't like any of
Alec
their
Pierce, you don't
receivers.
like
No,
Aaron?
not really.
No.
I don't even really like Pittman that much, frankly.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, I don't think Anthony Richardson's thrown for over like 1,300 yards this year.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not-
just my opinion.
I mean, but even if it's Minshew in there, still big tight ends. Just it seems like over the years too, they just have been used in Indy, regardless of the player, the coach, the system. It just always seems that they get worked in now. In the last couple of years, yeah, Molly Cox has been used. Woods got a little bit of use last year, but so I don't know what the split will be. If Mo will still
And
be
there's
the more
Ransom
dominant
there,
of the two, yeah. But he'll
lot of
get
mouths.
enough touches, and in this range of tight end, he's younger, just a higher ceiling that I was willing to take a shot at with getting rid of Gesicki.
No, it's fine.
But I do like
was
Gesicki in New England. I do. I'm optimistic about that because clearly it's just not Hunter Henry's just not that
Ooh,
that
well
type of tight end for the Pats.
Don't do it.
A move I
Well
really liked
done.
at the time, actually. But
Well done.
Don't do it. Don't
Well
do it.
done. Who? Take my kicker right now?
No, take your kicker. I want you to take
No.
your kicker.
I'm probably going running back right here.
Yeah.
Just when
it's not too early for a kicker.
Oh no,
Nah,
because
it's about the right. It's about that right time.
Honestly,
Because
hey,
your
man.
kicker is usually outscoring with the 3.33 for your extra points this
Yeah,
year.
Points,
the
yeah,
3.3,
that's
Those
a
kickers are
huge
going to
thing to
outscore
remember.
those wide receiver threes.
People
Yeah.
people don't realize how big that is. Like
Speaking of which, let's get her done.
So that means, when you have a Tyler Bass and say it's, a 35-7 win for Buffalo against
Let's do it.
the Colts or something at some point.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're still going to get 16 points from your kicker instead of 5.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Right.
My only downside to a guy like Bass is the fact that they last year Buffalo had the worst luck when it came to weather games and being outdoors and all that crap.
Yeah.
They never kicked field goals. They had to go for it on every down. Like, he's a great kicker. He really is. He has a leg on him. I'd rather be aiming for guys like Carlson. I'd rather be aiming for guys like even McPherson. I'd take Younghoe Koo. I'd be taking those guys just because they're indoors.
The late season weather is fair to worry about, especially it's playoff weeks when the weather's worst.
Yeah, I'd rather just stick with the guys that are indoors. Like, that's just who I go with. Every time. Oh, thank God no one took him.
I know we're late on this comment, but thoughts on Jordan Love? He's probably the most unknown quarterback right now.
No.
So Tycoon, what do you think about Jordan Love?
I'm not very high on Love at all. I don't expect much. Get ready for the worst quarterback play you've seen in 35 years, Packers fans.
For the Green Bay.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Welcome to NFL reality. I don't feel bad for you at all.
Yeah,
It's just so you know. At all.
You guys hate Packers fans.
You can't roll from 2 Hall of Famers with 15-year careers back to back and not expect, some bitterness from others who, when most franchises struggle to find a legitimate franchise quarterback.
Oh, I agree.
Most of their existence.
My whole thing with Love is if everyone keeps comparing him to Rodgers, and that's his biggest downfall. No, but anytime that they bring up stats, it's always something to do with Aaron Rodgers, because they always go last year, the blank, and they do this whole thing about the wide receivers. And I sit there and I'm like, you guys understand that Love hasn't only played like one game as a starter. Like, we all realize that it's one game. Like, and he had a horrible game. That was a bad game. And it was against the Chiefs. Like, it was a really, really bad game. You really think that he's going to have the numbers that Rodgers did and consistently did that? My whole thing with that particular team is that, for one, if you look in best ball right now in general, like if you look at Underdog best ball, Christian Watson is going in the 4th freaking round. That makes no sense at all.
It's outrageous.
It's outrageous.
Honestly.
And I wrote I forgot who started it, but I was following Dave Kluge, and he said, he made some comment, and then I commented behind it, and I was like, Christian Watson has mediocre PR for, I think it was Gabe Davis. Like, him and Gabe Davis are essentially the same in the context of who they are.
Yeah, Christian Watson is Gabe Davis with better PR.
Oh, there it is. That's what it is. Or mediocre PR.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, at this point, I was just like,
who cares?
Yeah, but the whole point was to compare him, and someone was like, you don't watch football? Like, do you even watch football? I'm like, dude, do you guys really think Christian Watson's going to do the exact same thing he did last year with Aaron Rodgers? Like, they are two completely different quarterbacks.
Have a hyper-efficient scoring second part of the season? Again, with Jordan Love?
Yeah, maybe. But there's no way that I mean, if he does, fantastic. Good for him. I'm happy for him. I hope he does well. I'm not pushing for him to do worse. But at the very
All right. Well, I'm going to cut you off there then and ask you Sam Howell or Jordan Love?
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell as well, just because I like the players around him better.
I like the team better. Yeah. Like, that's why I'm picking.
Like, Dotson and McLaurin is better than Watson and Dubs, by a significant margin, in my opinion.
And thoughts on Jalen?
Like, Jones and Dillon is probably better than Gibson and Robinson, but whatever. That doesn't help the quarterback. Or only helps quarterback so much.
We know what you mean. We know what you mean. I'm with you. Low carb adventure. I think this is who's your girl here in the 4th spot. I think he'll be fine as a QB3. I mean, it doesn't take much to be a QB3.
Sure. I mean, he's going to play the whole year.
I drafted him here as my wide receiver 1 in my punt the wide receiver build. I don't feel great about it. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out.
Honestly, he is definitely a QB3 in redraft. For this format, yeah, he gets a bump just because he could run. But I don't think that that's smart for them to have him do in general.
I don't think he'll be running much.
Yeah, well, that's my whole point. Like, I think everybody anticipates him being a running quarterback because of the fact that he did some of that in college. I think that they're going to tune that down a little bit and be like, dude, we got no one behind you. We need you to stay healthy. And honestly, their line isn't that great either.
Well, they also need to see what they have for real. You know, they gave him the 1-year deal. So, I mean, they need to, it very much behooves them to make sure he stays on the field.
Oh, well,
like you're alluding to.
And on top of that, they do.
Well played,
I was wishing for. I looked at it after the fact, and I'm like,
he was queued up, ready to go.
Yeah,
I was like, ooh, I'm glad I didn't take him instead of Butker because he fell all the way back to me, so I felt like I got a steal right there. And Baloney just.
I was waiting for it. I should have. I thought maybe he'd get back. Anyway, the whole thing with the Packers line too, for me, Bakhtiari is going to be back, but he's been beat the fuck up the last few years. He's been out on the field maybe 3 times that I've seen him. And then Jenkins is the only other guy that's, part of that offensive line that's any good. That's it. They don't really have anybody else. Their center is above average, but everyone else is pretty much bottom or below. You got to stay upright. So, it's one of those things where I just don't trust the team around him. The defense I wouldn't say fell off, but they're not what they used to be. They do have a great coach. They have one of the best D coordinators in the league. So I can't really say anything about that. And he'll make something work. I mean, Jack Del Rio is probably one of the best defensive coordinators out there. But at the end of the day, I don't feel that this team I want any part of. I don't even want Aaron Jones. I don't want AJ Dillon.
Really.
Like, I don't want any part of it. Like Musgrave, no, I'm good. Like, I understand his upside. Like, but at the end of the day, I just don't want anybody in this offense. The only guy that I really want in this offense is Jaden Green. Like, that's it. And that's only because I can get him incredibly late and be okay with it. Like,
lottery pick.
Yeah, he's a good lottery pick for the end of the, if you wanted to. Hopefully, everything works out. So,
and I think Brad also asked, worse than Lance, and my answer to that would be we don't really know as far as either of them. Like you said, Love's really only played 1 game. Lance has played 4 games. One of them, in a hurricane. So we don't know. I mean, Love's going to have the opportunity this year. So I mean, as far as fantasy goes, he's the guy you're going to. Want.
He's actually going to be playing football. We don't know about what's happening with Trey Lance and Brock Purdy.
Correct.
And if you want to be on one side, on one, if you want to be on one team or the other, it's one of those things where, like, I feel in my heart of hearts that Brock Purdy will be the starter, just based on what I read, based on what I see, based on what I keep hearing, everything. That it's just going to be Brock Purdy. Everything just screams Brock Purdy. There's nothing that I keep seeing about Trey Lance. The only thing I've seen is Trey Lance at tight end U throwing the ball to Kittle. Like, someone at San Francisco went, make sure you get that tape. Like, that was what it was. Because I think it's just them trying to find a way to get their capital back. they spent so much on Trey Lance that they don't want to feel like idiots. I think that's the biggest thing, because I think they're going to feel really stupid that they're
Act like teams have never wasted 3 first-round picks before on quarterbacks that didn't
Have
work,
they?
It may have been
or
bad.
picks that didn't pan
Have
out.
they?
Granted, we did
Name
them all
another-
in one.
another team that's done it.
We did
Name
it all
another
in.
team.
There's
Name another team.
The Browns. The Browns haven't picked a fucking quarterback.
Yeah,
with their
because they've
first-round
been
pick
picking in the first
how
round.
long?
They've been picking.
But
with
that's
the
what I'm
101.
saying.
I'd say
Is
most
yeah,
of
we
those
used it
trade
all
ups
in one
don't work.
spot, but yeah, I'm just saying, like, yeah,
Well,
it
I'm
didn't
saying
work. So
trade
you just
ups.
move on. It's just like me and my dynasty picks, man. I'll trade them off and then get them back later. Like, it's all good. Like,
Well,
y'all want to
he's
value
not
that. I
going
think
anywhere.
it's
They're not
such a
gonna trade
crazy
him.
thing. Yeah, let's
They-
just pretend
they-
we traded him for Purdy, and we got
I
Purdy
know
out
I'm
of it.
fighting
Right?
two. I know right now I'm fighting 2 49er fans, so this isn't easy. But all I'm trying to say is
Scroll
that
down
in
on
this
the
case,
thing real quick
me.
so we could see the next pick.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I talked through an auto to pick. Damn it!
Oh,
did you really?
no! But you got Mike.
I
You
didn't
got
even
Michael.
notice either. We were in a heated exchange.
I have
right?
no
was a
interest in
huge-
Michael Gallup. That's highly disappointing.
You want to switch it out for someone who's not picked yet? I can do that. For
No,
you, I believe.
no, you live with not paying attention. That's,
Oh,
that's
wait.
consequences.
Just
but I need to get off auto.
Get off auto
How do-
now.
How do I do that from the
It's in
computer?
queue. Go to queue. Go to queue.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
in
there
your
we go.
queue.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Whew,
Nice. That was quick.
that was quick.
Thanks, Jay.
Woo, just
Yes.
in time.
Jay Griff, if you're
Yeah.
watching, thank you. Appreciate the
Appreciate
wait.
the pause on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Even on the delay. But yeah, so that was a nice little heated exchange. I won't let you talk this blasphemy about my Niners.
It
let
wasn't
it go on for too
blasphemy.
long. It was getting there.
It's
I
a
had to put
fair-
a stop to it before it got too
We-
far.
we
Come on.
That's all I'm saying.
That
You-
was
you
a
were towing the line.
fair point.
You were towing the line. You started to get me angry.
Oh, I need Grandma
He'll
Mike.
be- no, but bottom line is though, Mike is
Truth hurts
if
sometimes,
Purdy's
Mike.
healthy for week 1, he will be the starter. That
Yeah, I
is
agree with
going
that.
to be the case.
I agree.
I mean, I don't think there's really much you can't really
And
debate
sadly, I think Darnold, if he's not ready, I think it's Darnold week
that.
1.
I hear
over
that. I
Lance.
think that's just not factual.
No, I don't
Really?
think that's
I
factual at
hope
all.
not. Believe me, you saw when they signed him. I was like, oh man.
No, I think he's
But he
a
really
solid
is.
backup, though.
His skill set does fit our offense.
It
though.
does.
Like it really
It's a
like
dink and
too.
dunk.
It's like too
Yeah.
well, which is why I hate it. Because but that's why I was excited about Lance. Man, it was nice seeing that ball be pushed down the field and just.
I
be
don't
a
think all
deep field
hope is
threat.
dead with Lance necessarily, but I'm not holding on to like expecting him to obviously be the franchise QB of the
No.
future at this point. I mean, it's possible because I do think there is still some unknown with Purdy coming back from the UCL surgery. I mean, it's
Oh yeah,
not
that's
really the
a-
strongest arm guy to begin with. Certainly not going to be any stronger after a UCL repair.
No.
So,
And that's a hard injury to come back from, especially since it's the closest thing to a Tommy John. I mean, right
Right.
now, I get the whole hold on, I feel a sneeze coming. That they basically
bless you.
Ooh, nice mute.
right
Well done.
right
Well
in my
done. That
hand.
was
Oh, I
professional.
love my
That was
I
very
love my Blue
professional.
Yeti. Anyway,
There you go.
just the
Shout out to
fact
the Yeti.
that he's coming back from that injury. You're right. He's not going to be the same. Thank you, Brad. I
Hey.
appreciate it.
Hey,
But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where you're trying to understand what might happen, but you could see that he had better control of the offense as a whole. So I really liked how Purdy ran things comparatively to Lance. Lance it just didn't
So,
look
what,
right.
It was
a
on me.
quarter not in Chicago. That's all we got was one quarter.
I completely agree.
I
But
mean,
that's
so we.
I
I
didn't
don't
like-
think you can draw that conclusion. I think
Okay.
that's wild,
that's
frankly.
fair. That's fair.
Jared has a question.
Like that's more. Well, before we go to the question, that's just
Yeah.
just my biggest thing on Lance is that people want to rush and say he was bad or that he's a bust and all that, and
We don't know.
we do not
We
know
don't know.
because he hasn't played.
Okay.
Like
No,
if
that's
you
fair.
don't believe
That's
in
fair.
him,
Like even
that's
in
fair.
college, he didn't play.
But
Like
to
we
say
literally
he
don't
wasn't
know.
good or didn't command the offense well and look, somebody else looks so much better. But there's no sample size for Lance really, so
Okay.
I just think
No,
it's
that's
drawing
fair.
conclusions with no evidence
Okay.
or little evidence. We'll put it that way.
I'll concede I'll concede that argument, and you're right. No, that's true. So Jared's question is MLF question: where's the line where you would flex a kicker? So I won't. You're asking the wrong. Well, I wouldn't say the wrong person, the right person actually. I have no problem flexing kickers. To me, they basically they are the equivalent of a wide receiver 3, essentially, like a high end wide receiver 3 in this format. So I'm okay with
kickers.
Well, the good, yeah,
Okay,
but
clarify.
true. But I think most kickers in most formats, I mean, especially in this format, you could probably get away with it in most formats. I mean, as long as your team's not getting shut out, you're pretty much any guy could put up at the least 3 points. At the most, they could go to God. You could have a guy outscore freaking Christian McCaffrey if you really thought about it. Just because they kick a bunch of 50-yarders, they could be good. So I mean, like I said, I aim for guys that are kicking indoors, that are on good teams, that are going to kick the damn ball. Unfortunately, Dicker isn't one of those. That's why I like McManus a lot. To be honest, it's a better offense this year. I think they're going to be, he has a long leg. He can pretty much kick it from anywhere. So I like him a lot. Carlson's another guy I like a lot. Younghoe Koo just in general, because they tend to just they kick and move back and just they play field position a lot. Dicker has, I think, he has out of 17 games, he has 14 indoors, if memory serves me right. So, guys like that. Another guy I'm going to wait on and probably draft here. So I'm going to wait on him. But that guy is somebody that I really like for this particular spot, just because their offense is also going to be increased. They're indoors. I think overall they're gonna be a really good offense.
Yeah, that's
whole.
really what I mean. Normally, obviously, you want to tie your kicker to a good offense,
badly.
But I think this year more than ever, because you're not going to be penalized when your offense scores touchdowns and doesn't go for the field goal. You're still going to be right there, unless it's 40-yard range every time. 3.3 is fantastic. So, for an extra point.
I'm all good with flexing a kicker. Like, I'm completely okay with it. I did it all last season. I think there was 1 week that I had three kickers and did fine.
Well, you won't be this year since you're live drafting. It will be on Sleeper.
No, we are on MFL.
For your live draft?
We are live drafting with MFL.
Really? I thought they were all Sleeper.
No, we went to MFL because the guys that are hosting our particular one went to a.
You're on the clock, Tycoon.
Yes, Tycoon. You're on 15
This is what
seconds.
keeps happening.
Our guys that are hosting.
When you're done with your take, I got a thing on kickers.
Okay, that's fine. So Ryan, I want to get his name right, so I don't. I don't want to I don't want if you ever Ryan Hamlin or Hallman, Ryan Hallman.
Ryan Heath.
What? No,
Ryan Heath.
No, not talking about him. Ryan Hallman is he's one of the guys that is hosting my particular event.
Different guy.
Yes, completely different guy. And he was at a convention out in Cleveland, and the person or the owner of MFL passed away recently, and they had like this big memoriam for him and everything. So it's one of those he's just like, oh, we have to use it. So all four leagues that are going to be there are going to be using MFL. So
there you go. My thing about kickers, if I can squeeze in my 2 cents on
ahead.
there. Damn me for giving my 2
not
cents.
you. Very strong. I should have picked him and then waited.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no. Check out that fantasy points article. We mentioned it in the last episode, last show, by Ryan Heath. In his article, he says even though you can expect 24 kickers to post approximately wide receiver 4 numbers, I would still not be the first to draft one. Kickers offer the worst VOPB of any position, with only a 2.9 point per game difference last year between kicker 1 and kicker 12. And they're just saying you should be able to take, some later. So, even the highest scoring kicker, Tyler Bass, with the current points would be at 16.6 points per game, which would, as far as tight ends, that's like your tight end 15 or 16. And for wide receivers, that's like
16 points per game, tight end 50. I don't. Oh, I guess in Scott Fish scoring.
yeah,
Never
and the
mind,
Scott
never
Fish
mind.
scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that seems ridiculous. Never mind.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
Yeah, no.
A little high.
In the current Scott Fish scoring based on
Yeah.
their output from last year. So
Right.
again, I'll drop this link to this article here in the chat if you guys want to check it out. It's just real cool just to have a
Tycoon,
nice
you're
little
on the-
chart to see. And there we go. So it's just nice to have that little chart. You guys could check that out right there. Just to show the different scoring breakdown, the points in the scoring last year versus points this year, and just kind of gives you an idea of kind of where those tiers are for those points per game. So, yeah.
So on that same note, not necessarily advocating to draft them really any higher, or other than, especially if you're in sleeper and have to play at least one kicker. As far as any extra kickers for flex, as far as MFO goes, but as far as actually when you set your lineup, considering them for the flex, when you're considering some of these lottery ticket picks that you're taking here in the 19th, 20th, through the 22nd round, when you're setting the lineups, just consider putting them in. Don't take them too early. No, take the shots at the potential higher ceiling skill players. Yes,
Exactly. And just to put it in perspective. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, if you're going to draft it, like if you're in the middle of the season and you need, like if you're looking at your lineup and you're like, oh, I drafted too many of the same week. I don't know what to do. And, you're looking for a guy to drop and pick up, and, you're looking at, everybody put in for all these top, free agent guys, and you're not sure, and you want to put $1 on like a kicker to get you through a week.
right.
They'll get you through a week. Like they will be helpful. But if there's nobody there, that's going to be the hard part, because I think a lot of people are going to be drafting everyone's going to draft at least 2 kickers. It's just, I'm not saying that that's what you should do, but I think a lot of people will, especially in the sleeper format, just because you need to fill it. But a lot of people are going to be just like, they'll either not do it and just, grab them and stream them when needed. MFL, you don't need to even draft a kicker if you don't want to. So that's your choice. I think they have the highest floor for a lot of, situations.
Right. They're definitely a floor play.
Yeah. But, beyond that, they're just a good weekly, fill-in. So
you almost made me auto my pick there, Mike. But yeah, I was just going to say, to put that in perspective, at 16.6 points per game, that would be Michael Pittman Jr. last year. His production at 16.8 points per game is what he would be scoring this year, which is your wide receiver 19. So you're better off putting a kicker in that flex spot, at least the top kicker, wide receiver 19 through 24-ish, or in that 14 to 16 point range. So again, like you just reiterating what you guys were saying, you don't necessarily have to draft them early, but if you're in MFL, you can definitely flex them. I've heard in those MFL mocks that 3, 4, 5 kickers are pretty much gone. Like everyone has 3 or 4 kickers pretty much by like round 12 to 15. Yeah. So it's definitely a completely different mock than ours here. So
and to be honest, Brad asked the question, so you think MFL has an advantage overall because it isn't stuck on kicker mandatory? I wouldn't say it's an advantage, but it is definitely something unique that we have that ability to do. Like I just said, or like Anthony said, I mean, they could, a good kicker is basically, like I said, wide receiver 19, like you said. Mm-hmm. So, that I'm good with that. Like I have no problem playing. I was going to say,
I got it. It was close, but I got it.
But it's one of those things that I'm completely okay with it. I like playing those types of guys, just because it levels everything out in my opinion. For me, I don't mind playing a kicker that's someone like Justin Tucker, Bass, Youngwei Koo, the guys that I've spoke about, McPherson, all the guys that are going to be putting up at least scoring at least how many touchdowns to be able to be viable? 4 touchdowns to get at least 12, 14, 15 points, roughly, and that's if you don't go for field goals or anything like that. So that's a pretty relevant guy
Right.
week to week, and especially on a high-powered offense. So guys like Buckert, Bass, McPherson, I wouldn't Tucker for this format is tough because of that, because Baltimore doesn't really get they don't they're good, but they don't score that often, which is crazy. They do go for field goals, but they're not that great. It's an in-between type deal. He's just a really accurate kicker. McManus, I like. Dicker too with the Chargers.
It says they're going to be in a competition, Dicker and Hopkins. So we'll see who actually.
We'll
emerges
see,
out
but
of there.
Dicker came out real big last year, and they used him a lot, and he was very accurate.
I think that was just because Hopkins was hurt, right? Didn't he have like a groin or
correct
something going on? So
no,
he
I understand.
tried to come back and then got messed up again, and that also kind of was why they started going for it a lot on fourth down.
Why do you think I picked Badgley up just in case? Because
you
it's one of those things where Dicker is probably going to be the kicker, but we'll see. Like I have no crystal ball.
Ravery got me. I wanted Elliott right there.
Wait. Yeah. Oh, you wanted Jake Elliott? Yeah, that's not a bad one either. I hate Jake Elliott. Me and him have a tired
love-hate relationship.
Yeah, he's so good that he's so, like, it just hurts. Like it just
he was your kicker number 5 last year,
dude. He made, I think he's made 2 or 3 games where he made a 60-yard field goal to beat us on 2 occasions, and it just hurts your soul, you know. Man. Yeah, and Brad, I completely agree. McManus is my sleeper kicker this year. Like, he is one of those guys that I am just high on for the Jaguars. So
there it is.
Yeah,
absolutely. Just again, while we have a moment, just want to give a special thanks again over to Jeff Lambert over there at Going for Two. Make sure you guys check out the description there. Find that Discord if you want to get more super flex. If you want to get more Scott Fishbowl. I see SF and I just think super flex. The SFB mocks, and make sure you guys jump in that Discord. You'll probably find me in there taking that 2 spot in most of those drafts. Sorry for all the 2s, but I have been pretty much snagging that spot when I can.
Yeah, man, I got a lot of guys like that too in my 7s.
I'm just like, I'm getting it in there, so I apologize, but I'm trying to get my practice in for being my first year, so I'm excited to see how it goes. But again, make sure you guys check that out in the description. Also in the description, you will find our other affiliates here, our other friends of the channel. We got, I think we got a little something that shows all these guys in here. You got it? There it is. Boom. The Fantasy Frontline podcast, man, with Tim and AJ. They'll be gearing up soon. I know Tim's been dropping some episodes, so make sure you get in the description and go subscribe to them. Affiliate here on Get Right. Also check out the Checkdown podcast with Cody McGoats and Shirtless Pat and the fellas. They usually stream on Wednesdays, so you'll see them coming back here soon. And then our newest addition here to the Get Right family, we have Mr. Adam. You guys know him as them boys DC for life, DCFL or 4L. And he's going to be dropping his Deadzone fantasy show here on Get Right Fantasy Network. Going to be focusing on those mid-round guys, helping you guys with your waiver ads, put in those fab budgets to get those guys that can win you weeks as your drafts and season unfold. So again, all that info is in the description. Make sure you guys go check it out and hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, hit that like button for us. It helps us just as much. We are trying to grow and get to that 1,000 milestone. We're almost at 900, so help us keep pushing here, and then we'll hopefully be able to soar above and beyond from there. So again, we really appreciate everyone coming out here, spending your Friday nights with us, man. Hopefully you guys got those sleeves rolled up, man, and keep checking us out, man. We have our mock draft tournament that will be getting going at the end of July, heading into August, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Cash prizes that we're giving away there. So a lot of stuff to come around here. So that's that. Thanks for letting me have the floor there, guys. Get a little promo in there.
Speaking of Tim and Frontline Fantasy,
I was just going to say, he's going to be at the live, isn't he?
He's going to be at my live. He is in my division. He is the 108.
Oh, wow.
Back.
So, and he has similar opinions on some of my favorite players. So
that's going to be fun.
Put it this way. I'm not getting Bateman at the 11th in my
I was just going to say.
Happening.
No, that's awesome. I'm excited for
man,
that.
that's going to be a game of chicken on him in particular between me and him, I think.
And it's Ron. What's up, Ronald? How you doing, bro?
Oh, hey, Ron. But
Ron's in
yeah,
here.
so
What's up, Ron?
we'll
he
have
had to
Tim
come in.
live
I
and
thought
in
I could
person here in
get
a
away
couple
with
of
it.
weeks. I'm pretty excited. He was there last year, and I didn't really know him, so
That's awesome.
It'll be more fun this time around.
I get to meet Tim at the expo where I'll be.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of
Expo should be a
which,
blast.
yeah, now that we're getting a little closer to wrapping this thing up, make sure you guys stay tuned immediately following this draft. We're going to run a little race here to give away our VIP ticket to the Fantasy Football Expo held in Canton every year. So we only had 2 people, unfortunately, that entered for it. We do have some people watching here. If you're watching and you do want to get in that race, it is just the ticket. You got to make sure you get yourself there. It's just the ticket, a VIP ticket. Still got to get to Ohio. But if you're interested, just hit that hashtag. Exactly. Hit that hashtag GRFN Expo in the chat, and I'll add you here to the race. But so far, we have it just between the Fantasy Fish, who was on with us here earlier. I don't know if he's still watching, but I'm sure he'll catch it to see when we're going to do this drawing. And the Queen Roxanne 9809 on Twitter, who entered in there. So we've had a couple other new female subscribers here. The women of Get Right. So we appreciate it, man. Open it up, and just love growing, man, and meeting all these new people, especially here in the Scott Fish Bowl, man. Everyone's been so supportive coming out. That's why, our numbers are going. Me, I am
4, 3,
me.
2.
That's all right. It's the last bit. We're good. I'm reading our promos. I'm giving love right now. That's okay. I'll take Ty Chandler. That actually works because I got Madison. That worked out good. I think I had him in my queue actually.
Oh, there you go.
So that actually worked out. But yeah, man. So again, we just want to appreciate it, man. All the love. Appreciate you guys. And Jared, that's hashtag GRFN Expo. Like, you have the ability to go? I can get you in the race, but if you win, you got to make sure you can get to Canton.
Yeah, make sure you can get there.
Just the ticket. So if you are, I'll definitely get you in the race. So just give me a confirmation there, and we'll get you in that race. So let's see. So
it's
yeah,
August. It's August 11th. It's August 11th to the 13th. The VIP ticket covers everything. It literally gives you access to the Hall of Fame. It gives you access to
$40 value on its own.
Yeah, just on its own. On top of all that, you get access to the expo. You get
T-shirt,
the parties. You get a T-shirt. There's all different. There are so many different events that are going to be going on there. Des Bryant will be there. Des Bryant is definitely going to be there and playing flag football with the group. Lisa Ann is going to be there. So there's going to be tons of people at this particular event. So be ready for that. So, it's his son's birthday. I'm sorry. So Jared can get a flight there.
I can get a flight. All right.
But you're laughing. I want to make sure you can get it, though. We want to make sure
I can
you
get a
are
flight there.
set to get there.
All right.
We don't want people that can't go.
You said that sounds cool for sure.
Right. Yeah, it's
all right.
definitely going to be a fun time. I'm excited.
Watch, he's probably going to win now. Watch that.
Yeah, watch. Yeah.
That's probably how it works. So let me go back and get him entered in here. It's real easy.
There's going to be other events too. I know the Women of Fantasy are going to be I forgot the name of the group, but the Women of Fantasy, they're going to be doing their draft. Lisa Ann's going to be doing that. I know Rachel's going to be there. A few other people that I've gotten in touch with recently. They will all be a part of this from all different walks of life. I know JJ Zacharyson is going to be there, or Zacharyson going to be there. Who else is confirmed that they will be there? A few guys. Well, I know Dave Kluge is going to be there for football guys. I know a few others are going to be there as well. So
it's generally a huge amount of.
It's a huge.
Scott Fish should be there. So
yeah, Scott I think is going to be there.
To meet Scott, and he's an extremely nice guy.
Yeah. Oh, Scott is. I keep hearing wonderful things. He's been in our live chat a few times. I mean, the guy, awesome, I don't know how he does it. I really don't know.
He made a surprise appearance last year to our draft, so I did get the chance to meet him.
He said that he's going to
super cool.
He's going to try to make it out to ours next year. This is the first year they're doing a New York City live draft, so I'm excited about that. Hopefully, they do something like this next year. It's a great little venue. I've never been there before, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. And it's close to Penn. It's really cool. So, shout out to all those that are going to the
I'm surprised New York
NCU.
didn't have one last year. You would think,
I honestly,
largest
yeah,
metro area in the country would have.
and they were
one of all
doing
places.
locations. Like, I thought they were definitely
Yeah.
going to be doing New York. But I'm
I
glad
didn't even realize. Wow.
yeah, I was a little shocked by that too. But I'm glad that they're doing it in New York this year. Got a lot of great people going to be there. Oh, believe me, Jeff, I have friends that live in Cleveland that I have a very good close friend, Kyle, that lives in Cleveland, that I'm asking him advice about. We're actually planning on going to Cleveland, see the Hall of Fame, come back into Canton. We're staying where are we staying? I forgot. One of the 3 hotels they suggest to you. There's shuttles from the hotels that they recommend to you and stuff. So I signed up for this back in February, like the day it came out. Like I think it came out like February 11th. I signed up and I'm already, I already had my hotel booked and everything. And they gave you like a discount on rooms and stuff. Like they blocked out rooms in 3 hotels. So this is a big event. Very big.
Yes,
cool.
it is.
Very cool. I hope to one day get there. Maybe Tycoon, we could go together.
I need
one
you
day.
guys to be there.
Catch a flight here from LAX.
Last year, I was thinking,
PSP.
no way I could miss it this year, but hopefully, no way I could miss it next year.
Absolutely, that'll
I'm
be our
gonna
goal.
definitely try next year.
I'll be able to. Ooh, I wonder if I could write it off as a little business expense here.
Actually,
I have to get into that.
technically, you
yeah. All right, we'll talk about
ULLC
that. Okay.
get right yet?
Wait.
Oh,
my God. Yes, we're gonna have to. Oh, dude, I didn't even think about that.
We'll talk.
Yeah,
we'll talk. We'll talk offline. All right, so good stuff. So Jeff, again, appreciate that, man. If you're only 20 minutes away, do you already got a ticket?
I was
Are you
gonna
interested
say,
in
if you
going?
wanna
You want to
go,
get in this drawing? You have, if it's just a regular ticket you got, maybe you can give away your regular ticket and win this VIP ticket if you want to get in this one. So
let us know.
I don't know. Just let me know, man. So we'll get in here. So again, I just you guys were talking, so I wanted to take it down off the draft board, but I wanted to just at least bring that up so everyone could check it out. If you want to give it a little scroll back up, Mike.
Yeah.
So we can see the top of the
It's
draft.
so tough
there.
doing the 22 rounds.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And just kind of scroll down so people have a chance. If they're finished, they can pause it and kind of zoom in on those picks there.
Give me a second.
So that you guys can see it. So we'll give you a second. Feel free to pause. So
I made
he
it
says,
small
"Heck
enough.
yeah!" Oh, there you go. Says, "Heck yeah!" I look forward to seeing everyone there. So I don't know if that means heck yeah he wants in on the drawing for the ticket, or
Yeah,
heck
Jeff,
yeah, he's
let
already
us know
going.
if you want to be in it, because if you do, just type in hashtag GFRFN, Expo. Just let us know that you're in and want to be there, just so that we're not, like I said, this is a VIP ticket. It's something that, we're giving away. We want to make sure people are going to go. We don't want it to be something where you're not going to be there. So if you really want to be a part of this and it's something you want, are definitely going to be there for, put your name in. Okay, perfect. So let's
He says he
throw
does
him in
want to
there.
get in. All right,
Yeah.
so that's what we needed to know.
No,
All right, so let's bring this thing up, man. Let's get back here to a different setting here. See,
you just got to go back to setting it up.
Ooh, Brad's saying so jealous. All right, so let's get in here. I'm gonna go back one, go back two. Let's get Jeff in there. Who's that? Jeff Baloney. Oh, he sniped me. You're not getting in, man. He sniped me on that B Ryan pick. Need to adjust his luck to 0. No. All right, so let's shuffle it up a couple times here. A few times that was. And
you set it up the way they did it for the runs?
Absolutely. 4815 faster.
All right, perfect.
It was a whole thing we had going on in the Fantasy Cares
it was perfect.
YouTube. Everyone's gonna get that tattooed on them, so we all know those settings. So
48
4815 faster. So it was kind of fun. So shout out to John and Russ over there, man. So that was a lot of fun. All right, so let's get this thing going, man. This is gonna be for our VIP ticket giveaway here for the Fantasy Football Expo. Let's get this thing started.
Let's
we have
go.
Queen Walks fan.
Let's go.
9809. We got Jeff Baloney. We got the Fantasy Fish, and we got Jared Griffin. Make sure if you do win, you do reach out to us.
Yes.
All of our contact info on Twitter is all in the description, man. Make sure you guys, so we can get a hold of you and get you this ticket. It is an e-ticket, so there'll be a little sign-in process. We'll get you to one of our ambassadors to get that taken care of. But without any further ado, let's get this thing going. So good luck, you guys, to you
Good
four.
luck.
Here it is, man. Let's go. We'll start it off. So got 4 guys going. 3, 2, 1. Let's do it.
And they're off.
So kind of
Chef Baloney,
yeah,
once
and
again
they're
to an
off.
early lead.
Go
Uh-oh,
ahead.
Fantasy
Go
Fish
ahead.
running. Uh-oh.
Oh, holy smokes.
Oh, Queen's coming up. Queen might
it's
go.
gonna be
No,
fun.
Fish.
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 Fantasy Fish.
Fantasy Fish. Oh,
There it
Jeff gets
is.
4th. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. That's horrible.
Man.
Still,
Man.
Fantasy
yeah.
Fish.
So that was
winning
pretty
it.
cool, man.
But
So
congrats to
congratulations,
Fish,
Fantasy
though.
Fish.
Yeah, congrats to Fish.
Absolutely,
That's
man.
Awesome.
So appreciate you. He's one of the ones who went on and commented on there to get in. Again, appreciate you guys here in the chat. That was a lot of fun. So congratulations, Fish. You know how to get a hold of us, man. So make sure you do. Hopefully you go watch this. You got to claim it. If we don't get a claim spot, I believe by like tomorrow or something, we're going to have to give somebody else an opportunity. So again, make sure you reach out to us, Fish, when you get this. If somebody knows him, you guys can hit him up and make sure he gets in contact with us. So we'll get that off the screen. That was a lot of fun. Those races are fun, man. That's fun to do. I hope we get to give away a couple Scotty Fish Bowl invites next year. That's my goal.
That'd be cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would
Well,
love
now
to
that
do
you
that.
guys
I
have
wanna run
both
some
been in,
races.
just reach out to him early. I mean, he loves giving out spots for shows to
give
to
them
give
away,
away.
right?
Yeah,
And it helps him, right? It's less stuff they got to do. We're all
absolutely.
like
One
the
less spot he
ambassadors
has
at
to
that
worry
point.
about.
Yeah, we'll
We
reach
know-
out to
we
him
know how that
earlier
goes.
next year.
For sure. Maybe that'll get us our invites in a little earlier too. You never know. All right. So good stuff there, man. I didn't want to give all the thunder. I'm going to put you on the solo screen. You've done this before, Tycoon. I want you to tell the people what you got going on, who you are, where they can find you, and all that good stuff. So go right ahead.
That's a trickier question these days. My activity's been lower this particular off season, but you can find me on Twitter at ff_tycoon. You can find me on YouTube at the Fantasy Boardroom. Haven't really done a show since I don't know about 3/4 of the way through last season. Life kind of got in the way with last season. I do plan to start up again soon, but in a little bit of a state of flux. So the exact restart date is still up in the air. It probably will be post Scott Fishbowl draft at this point. Probably mid to late July to start allowing some prep for August drafting. Get some division team previews, things like that out there. Get you prepped for your redraft drafts in particular. That's what you're going to find from me is, for the most part, redraft advice with some Dynasty sprinkled in. Occasionally maybe do some Dynasty-centric episodes. And, of course, you're going to get a lot of NFL prop bets from me during the season. So for your Underdog, for your Prize Picks, I prefer Underdog. Prize Picks is a bunch of crooks. Just not a fan.
And we definitely want to have you on for some betting segments here with us. You know,
yes,
you're always welcome to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
For
where
sure.
that's where my wheelhouse is. I love to play around with a lot of sports, but where the actual success is mainly lies with the NFL. So
Very nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
that's where we'll
All
be,
right,
and that's
man.
where you can find me.
Heck yeah. Jeff, I know, man. He did. That was rough there.
Hey man, I had plenty of
that
those
was a lot of fun.
scenarios. I mean, we don't run as many races as the guys for Fantasy Cares, but there were a few instances where they were running 12 guys. Mine was the 12th guy, and it usually goes pretty quick. Mine took a good 15 seconds, to be the last
behind
guy
everybody else. They're waiting for you.
Oh, just waiting
those
for
are-
me. It was bad.
Those are tough.
Just
I got a
salt
bunch
in
of
the wound
second
when
places.
that happens too. You're like,
Yeah,
you already
for
lost,
sure.
but now you have to
Yeah,
just watch
yeah,
a
it
guy
just- it just-
crawl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it just crawled right in.
Keep getting one.
Yeah.
One. Yeah,
It
that's the
definitely
worst.
felt like the real thing. Like me running
For
100
sure.
yards and me getting to that 10th yard.
I'm with you.
hamstring.
Gassing out.
With you
For
there.
sure. Absolutely. All right, man. So let's shut this thing down, man. We appreciate your time, Tycoon, for coming out here with us. You know, you're
Yes.
always welcome here in the network, the Get Right Fantasy Network. Of course, for our boys, Frank and Destin, we'll hopefully see them here soon as we get closer to the redraft season. Again, make sure you guys are checking out, or if you're interested in getting in our mock tournament of champions, as we call it. We're going to be starting that at the end of July. July 31st
so
will be our
pumped.
first
Love the
qualifier mock.
tournament
So
champions.
that's going to be fun.
Great time.
Yeah, so that was fun. Tycoon was one of our finalists last year. Weren't you winning for the longest time too? And then
He did.
your
Yeah.
team kind of took a dump towards the end, right?
We all did. We
it was
all
tough.
did
That was
because
tough.
we lost to a toddler.
No, not in that one. This
Oh,
was
it doesn't
different.
matter.
That was the
Oh,
listener
yeah, that's
league,
right.
No, that's
which
the
we
best
have.
ball, right? But
Yeah, that was the
yeah.
best
Oh,
ball.
the best ball one. Yeah.
yeah, my
It was
team
me
was
and
good
you.
until late.
It was
Yeah.
me and you at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, my team collapsed.
Yeah.
There it is. So yeah, man. So again, we'll get out of here, man. We appreciate you guys, especially all the new subscribers, man. We appreciate you guys for spending your Friday night with us. Again, we'll be here next Friday. So if you're interested in getting another Scott Fish Bowl mock, make sure you reach out to us. We will be posting the lobby on Twitter, so make sure you get in there soon. Again, you can always reach out to us anytime. Through Twitter, through Sleeper, however you can. Everything's in the description. So with all that said, again, for Frank, for Dustin, for myself, for Classic, and for our boy here, Mr. Tycoon, the best dressed man in fantasy football. Love the Niners shirt today, by the way. Appreciate you wearing that here. Other than that, man, we'll get out of here. We'll see you guys next Friday. Peace out.